The number of people signing contracts to serve in the Russian army has increased by more than 6 times over the year. This data was published by the Important Stories based on information about federal budget expenditures. For the first half of 2023, 26,700 people received a one-time payment for signing a contract, and for the same period in 2024, it is already 166,000.
To attract Russians to the war, the authorities are raising payments for signing a contract. In August 2024, the federal payment rose from 195,000 to 400,000, while regional payments quadrupled on average. The source of Important Stories in the selection point noted that in 2023, the regions were able to fulfill their plan to recruit people for the war only by 50 or 60%. In 2024, the rate of recruitment increased, but it is still not enough to make up for the losses. From Important Stories publication.
The BBC, together with the Mediazona publication and a team of volunteers, have been counting the Russian casualties during the invasion of Ukraine since the beginning of the full-scale war. Based on the public data, they managed to confirm the deaths of 13,152 volunteers. That's 1 in 5 of the total number of confirmed Russian casualties. For the first time since the beginning of the war, the losses among volunteers exceeded the losses of other categories of military personnel, including prisoners and mobilized soldiers. But the fact that Russians die en masse in the war against Ukraine is carefully concealed by the Kremlin.
In the 90s, when the Chechen war started, there were independent media outlets that objectively discussed the military topic on their pages and told the truth about the losses. And this had a sobering effect on society. Now there is brutal censorship. The authorities have everything under control, and it is easy to get a prison sentence for publications of this kind. Serhiy Krevenko, director of the human rights group Citizen Army Law, in an interview with Voice of America.
Experts explained the increase in losses among volunteers by the fact that they are now deployed in the most difficult parts of the front line in the Donetsk region. Volunteers are the basis for replenishing units that have suffered serious losses, and most of the volunteers who sign contracts with the Russian Ministry of Defense are residents of small settlements in regions where it is difficult to find permanent and well-paid work. But those who are lucky enough to be alive doubt whether it was a good idea to go to the war.
People begin to realize that they want to go somewhere else, maybe on holiday, and never come back here again. Just ignore everyone who agitates to stay here and everyone who gave beautiful speeches saying that everything will be fine. Well, Mr. Putin, you will have to return people somehow at some point.
According to the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, the estimated Russian losses since the beginning of the full-scale war have already exceeded 628,000 people, and the daily losses of the Russian army since the beginning of September 2024 are among the highest, 1,000 people on average. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Natalia Husak, Volodymyr Shtangelov, UATV News.